Okay, so I've just 100% completed FS6T edition like a week or so ago, I think. And I figured, you know what? Might as well just rank everyone. So we're gonna do that. Uh, yeah, let's see. So Celeste, probably either S or A tier. Runic is really good. She's really good at casting magic, obviously, but that's not too terribly special. Other than she has a high magic stat though, so I guess that's definitely worth noting. Her gear, she's got pretty strong gear all the way throughout the game. So yeah, I'd say probably S tier. Um, Cyan, Cyan. Cyan's pretty nice. He does full damage from the back row with like the multi-hit stuff. Um, his magic isn't great, but that's not that big of a deal. It's all right damage. But that's kind of all he does. He doesn't have much of a support going on. Actually, yeah, because well, he has the same support as Celeste though. Well, no, Runic actually. Runic and I guess Prayer, but it's not really worth using Prayer on Celeste. But I think if he had better support options, he'd definitely be on A tier. But I think for now he's got to be like top of B tier. All right, Edgar. So he's like Cyan, but way better damage. I think Edgar should be either bottom of S or top of A. He's really good. Gal, if you've played T Edition, he is the best damage option in the game without a doubt. Like it's not even close really. Turns out 8 hit Fatality Claw is kind of obnoxious. Go-Go. Go-Go's S tier. I think Go-Go's probably the second best character in the game. Because basically he can use blue magic, but he can use blue magic, right? He can use all skills, I guess, but specifically blue magic, because blue magic has really nice support options. But he also has good HP and like good equipment options to pair with it. Whereas like Strago, I'll go ahead and rank Strago. Strago's awful. Strago has terrible equipment, terrible HP growth. It's but he has blue magic, so actually because of blue magic he's C tier. But he's just so bad because you can't keep him alive, even though blue magic is probably the best command in the game. You just can't keep him alive at all. But you can put blue magic on Gogo, and Gogo is really good because of it. Because you just give him a Celestiad or whatever, and it's like fine. You give Gogo a Celestiad, he has access to like Maximilian, all that. Even before you get like the really good armors, his armor options are still like fine. They're better than Strago's. Um, and you can use like other commands. Like on Strago, you have to have the attack command, and attack is kind of worthless on Strago. Whereas on Gogo, instead you have the mimic command, and mimic is just without a doubt better because you can summon a free Esper or something, or use an item for free. Like it's so much better. Lock. Um, so I guess to be specific, I'm talking about the Lua translation and the Lua patch where Locke got innate dual wield, like he just always has it. Um, and he also has damage piercing. But to be honest, he's still not great. Like he's a physical damage character that has to be in the front row, but doesn't do that much damage. Stealing is really nice though. Stealing is quite good. I think because of steel and innate dual wield damage piercing, he's probably better than Cyan. But overall, he can't really compete that well against like Gao or Edgar, or even really Sabin maybe if you know what you're doing with him. Um, but like he's all right. Stealing's pretty good. His damage is okay. Like if you put a merit award like in the end game, right? If you give him merit award and then he dual wields like Omega weapon and what's it called? The lightning axe. Mjolnir, because he's really good. He does some very nice damage. Because Mjolnir MP crits, which is very beneficial for Lux damage. It's really nice because you get the crit and you also get the defense ignoring. So it's pretty good damage. And then you can cast like I think you don't want to use Master Scroll because you can get like Ultima and Thundega procs with his attacks, which are very nice boosts to his damage, along with just like critting and such. I think is it keeps his damage high. He's not very good with the Ultima weapon because his vitality is kind of Well, I guess his stamina, right? It's stamina in this game. His stamina is kind of It's not great. It's lower than Cyan's. It's lower than Saban's. It's a little bit of Maro's. Um, but he does like okay damage. He's alright, and he's just like alright throughout the entire game, I think. Never really amazing, but not really terrible, I'd say either. Certainly not as bad as Strago, who I think is probably the worst character in the game. Um, Mog. What do I think about Mog? Mog is more gambly than Setzer. He can be nice, but sometimes you click animal or dance and he just like you wanted wild boar, right? When your like entire party is status augmented or you're trying to get mighty guard up. And it's like, man, Gal, or not Gal Mog. I need you to let's roll some better RNG numbers. He is what he honestly he gambles harder than Setzer. Like give Setzer Mog's ability, and then we're talking a real gambler. Cause God, um, in terms of like equipment wise, he gears fine. The Mululu charm's really nice, but you can get it with a merit award, so it's not that big a deal that only Mog can natively equip it. Alright. I think that's all I have to say about Mog at least. Anyway, moving on to Realm. Realm's pretty solid. You kind of have to use the bestiary to know what you're getting with Sketch, but she has some powerful sketches. Like even in like the EX mode, I believe if you sketch Cloud of Darkness, you get Wave Cannon, which hits for some reason despite doing percent based damage, and it just like always hits the damage cap. It's kind of obnoxious, I believe. I'm trying to think other fights. Against Ultima, you can sketch Ultima, and you'll get to cast Ultima from it before you actually have access to the Ultima spell naturally, which is really good. I think there's some fights where you get like Shadow Flare or Hyperdrive from sketching. Like it's really strong. Wishing Star, it's okay. It's not great because normally when you're bringing Realm, you're bringing it because whatever you're sketching has like Hyperdrive or Ultima or like Flare or whatever. But it's still alright. It's not awful. Um, I'd say bottom of A tier. The she's a bit metagamey. You have to like know you have to like read up on the fight beforehand. You don't really want to bring Realm like blindly into things, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. Like it's okay. Um, I think especially for T edition where you kind of have to read up on what some of the bosses are doing to get through without just like level grinding or something. Um, why not go ahead and figure out what realm sketches? Because sometimes you'll just get a flare, and it's like, damn, it's some big damage. Sabin. So I have some issues with Sabin. I think he should be at least as good as Cyan, if not better, because he's better at using the Ultima weapon than basically anyone else. Like technically Umaro gets higher stamina, but sometimes Umaro just wants to like chest bump people, and it's just like, well, there goes Umaro's turn. Whereas like Sabin will always get his like 8 hits off or whatever with the ultimate weapon. Um, in terms of blitzes though, like his blitzes should be good. His blitzes, if you're not using ultimate weapon, he should be just as good as Cyan. However, like my keyboard just like hates me or something because I cannot get Tiger Rush. I just cannot get Tiger Rush to work. It just refuses to work with me. And the same for really all of his blitzes. I don't know if I ever got a fiery dance off because it just like it doesn't work for me. I don't know. Maybe I need to play with the controller or what. But his blitzes are tough, and without blitzes, Sabin's pretty bad. I'm going to rank him assuming blitzes are usable and that I'm just bad. And as such, he's like I think he's better than Locke and Cyan because he is quite good at using double ultimate weapon, Master Scroll, and just going to town. But and if you're using like his blitz as well, I think he's still probably he's probably worse than Cyan. But I think the fact that he has good blitz options and he can use ultimate weapon well, I think makes him better than both Cyan and Locke. And actually, I think Locke's worse than Cyan. The damage from Cyan is just purely better, even though Locke has steel. Um, yeah. Setzer. He just feels mediocre. Like he's an alright mage. Giltoss is terrible. Um, Slots are like, eh, they're okay. They're not great. Just like alright. He's just like an character. Um, I guess when you first get to World of Ruin and you get him and you go get your fixed dice, he is probably your best damage option. But then after you start like getting good gear on everyone else, he falls off kind of hard. Um, his weapon options outside of fixed dice aren't great. His armor's just alright. Like he's just an alright character. Um, Nothing really too crazy going on. He can fight from the back row, which is nice, but his physical damage isn't that great anyway. So I'm not really sure. Like he gets a Valiant Knife throwable version of it, or I guess a throwable version of the Valiant Knife, which is like, it's okay, but like once again, that's not really that good. Um, Using Valiant Knife in this ROM hack's kind of difficult because if you're low HP, you might just die. um, Even like more so than like the base game. Like I don't know, he's just mediocre. I think for that he probably goes top of C tier. He's a bit more reliable than Mog. His damage is pretty nice for a decent portion of the World of Ruin, I won't lie. But once the fixed dice falls off, Setzer kind of falls off in his entirety. Shadow. Shadow is very good until... When does he get bad? He does definitely get bad. I think he's good until, like, Thundega, like, all the Auga spells, I guess, fall off. Like, so he's good right up until around... I'm trying to think, what boss would I say he gets, like, definitely worse at? I think by the time, depending on the order you do them in, it's either the Warring Triad or the Final Fantasy 1 crystal bosses. I think it's right around that time where he gets bad. For the rest of the game, he is incredible. You put him in the back row, you give him an earring, he's throwing shit. He can dual wield from the front row, or he can dual wield from the back row and throw shurikens. He's very good. He's very good. And then he gets really bad really fast and basically becomes a gimmick character of look at me, I have insane evasion and will basically never take a physical attack. Um, I think for that he at least, because most of the characters I'm valuing their late game stuff very heavily. But I think even if I like even looking at them in the mid game though, they kind of hold up. Obviously, Go-Go, you don't have Go-Go in the mid game really. I guess maybe in this Trom hack the mid game shifts though, but um, I don't know. Anyway, he's better than Locke up until like you know towards the end of the game. Is he better than Cyan? I think so. I think he is better than Cyan. Magic damage is really good, and actually I think he's better than Sabin. He just falls off really hard at the end of the game. And actually, yeah, he does fall off too hard to be better than Sabin. Um, and actually, I think Cyan should be top here. I think, yeah, this order makes a lot more sense. Terra. Umaro. Okay, no, I'll talk about Terra. Um, Shock is not worth using ever, but that's okay, because Trance is very good. You just literally get free damage and free defense, and she can use Madwin's Horn, so she gets dual cast for free without using an accessory slot. Like she's very 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 good, very very very. She's like offensive Celeste, but Celeste her defense options like when it's good, it's very good. Like you're runicking like Apocalypse off Ultimisha or like Ultima casts from like various different bosses in the world of Ruin. Um, but the thing is, when there aren't those big spells to runic, Celeste does fall off a bit, whereas Terra just like there's not a situation where more damage is bad. More damage is always good. But taking less damage is always good. Like Terra's just she's so good. She's so good. And actually, I think Celeste should go top of A tier. I don't think Celeste is very good. She's definitely better than Realm or Edgar, but compared to these three, she's definitely a bit less impressive. I think she doesn't get like free X magic from any of her weapons. She doesn't get like some crazy damage buffs or anything. Like, don't get me wrong, she's very good. Runic is good. She's a good spellcaster, but I don't think she compares to these three in terms of utility and damage stuff. Umaro. Um, he's very good when he hits with the Ultima weapon. That's basically all he's good for, though, is just attacking with the Ultima weapon. Um, at least in my experience, I guess I haven't really tried anything else. Like I haven't tried using any of his normal weapons, but I can't imagine it's that crazy, right? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe I just haven't used Umaro, um, like enough in terms of trying out his different options. Um, where do I put Umaro? He's not in A tier. He's probably in B tier. Um, is he better than Locke? No. Actually, I think he goes to C tier. He does the best damage with the ultimate weapon, and that's it. But sometimes he doesn't do damage with the ultimate weapon. Sometimes he goes for a chest bump, and your turn has been wasted, and that just always feels pretty terrible. So for that, I think he goes C tier. And yeah, I think that's pretty accurate to how I'd rank everyone. Strago's tough. Like, to use Strago well, you have to grind gold apples, so he has good HP. But even still, even if you grind gold apples for Strago, so that he has like comparable health to Go-Go, he still has worse armor options. So you still have to use like a merit ward or something to make it so he can take damage. And it's just like, man, you're committing gold apples and a merit award. How is that any different? And you have like worse command options. How is that any different to just putting a Celestria out on Go-Go and now all your spells cost 1 MP? It's like Strago has high MP, but like you cast a couple Mighty Guards against a boss that dispels your party a couple times and Strago doesn't have MP anymore. That's not an issue for Go-Go. Now, is MP drain a big issue for Go-Go? Yeah. Yeah, it is a pretty big issue. Um, I would rather have a character that can reliably not die, but occasionally has MP issues, than a character who will still sometimes have MP issues and also die a lot. So, yeah. Yeah, and I think that about sums it up. Uh, really wish Locke was better. Um, I don't know. He's just like they're so close to making him like A tier. Maybe they just got I don't know. They gotta like buff his weapons or his defense ignore or something. Because he's so close to being very nice. He's just not quite there yet. But yeah. If you liked the video, you should like the video and subscribe. See ya.